Good morning. It is Monday. We got Dora. Hello. We got Lord of Bananas. We got Dark Dragon. We got Mick. What's going on? What's popping? And we got Dreaded Prophet. How y'all doing on this Monday? Drug myself out of bed this morning. I got some good sleep though. I had a pretty eventful weekend on Saturday night. Well, actually, I was kind of with him all day, but Saturday night I celebrated a good friend of mine who's actually from St. Louis, but he lives out here now. He had an engagement party. He's marrying a wonderful woman named Gabby. That was a good time. I had fun on Saturday evening, and then yesterday I went to a friend of mine named Chris. He does event organization. He had this really nice event on this boat. He did like a boat ride in NYC. So we got to see, you know what I'm saying? I've been living out here for about 7 years, but this was my first time that I got to like actually be in front of this was the first time I did a ferry ride like that. So we went under the Brooklyn Bridge. We was in front of the Statue of Liberty. And a couple other things like that. But it was a good time. I had a good time. And then I got me some good sleep last night. We got Shondi in the building. Hello, UC Love, Julio. What's going on? How y'all doing? But yeah, no. Had a pretty good weekend. And now it is the week. And I'm ready to pick it back up. Got a lot of work to do. I got some shit I need to pay. But that's life, you know what I'm saying? We gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. How was y'all's weekend? Did you do anything fun? Did you do anything cool? It's all rainy and stuff, so it's nice and chill and relaxing. A standard McBoy weekend. Hassan was popping. Brother Hassan, and we got Colin in the building. Hello. I switched up the jam, but we still listening to some Outkast. You know what I'm saying? So, I need to blow my nose. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Go get some tissue real quick, and then we're going to take our hit. I'll be right back. I can't wait. I can't wait. Y'all can't wait. Ooh, baby. Come on, got baby tonight. Anticipating, I go get it tomorrow night. Come on, baby, I can't wait. Much better. Ooh, had to blow my nose. We got Ryan in the building. All right, let's get it. You know, sometimes in life, sometimes we always need patience, but sometimes we really need patience. Because if there's one thing I've learned, I mean, sometimes there's just no quick fix. There's not always a quick fix. And sometimes quitting something or running away from some shit is not going to solve the problem. You know what I mean? So sometimes in life, you just got to be patient. And you just gotta wait. Oh, my boy Kyle back in the States. How was your trip to Portugal? It looked nice. My man's had he got some cousins I think I saw in post they got like 8 dogs, but they used to have 17 dogs or something like that. It looked nice. It looked really nice over there. My man Hassan ordered a juicer. All right, let's go ahead and get this hit live and get into today's stories. Woo. You've been watching the impeachment trial. Oh yeah, appreciate it. I got this in LA actually some years back, like 4 or 5 years ago now, maybe something like that. But let's go ahead and get into today's juice. What we got? We got a whole lot of Vivek today. We got a decent amount of Vivek today. So let's go ahead and just start off with some Mehdi. Start off with some Mehdi with Vivek. Mehdi Hassan reveals who he suspects the real Vivek Ramaswamy is. So let's see what's up. My boy drank a whole carton. Okay. Yes, I caught up on Ashoka. I've seen, I watched all 4 episodes and I like the show. I think it's good. I think it's a well-written show. I think it's well made. And I'm watching Andor right now too. So we're going to be talking about Ashoka on Thursday with my boy Kyle on the Nerd News, series. But yeah, I caught up with it. I think it's pretty good. So now let's see what Mehdi has to say about who he believes the real Vivek is.
Before you go, we got to talk a little bit about that interview with Vivek. I mean, I saw the full interview, and there were definitely some highlights. But you know what surprised me the most? And listen, I know how well you prepare for your interviews. I know how seriously you take them. But I was surprised by how much Vivek was caught off guard by just you persistently pushing him to answer the question about his own words. The fact that you were just simply saying to him, hey, why was this abhorrent? What did he do? What did Trump do that was so abhorrent? And he refused to answer it. I don't know if he was lying back then or he's lying now when he said that, you know, Trump was the greatest president of all time, but then at the same time saying that he was abhorrent. And I think it's a reminder again, just sometimes how persistent and dogged following up with a simple question can sometimes be the hardest thing for a politician who changes his position, who lies about his past, who doesn't come clean about what he's done. You get him in a corner and you see him squirm the way that Vivek did in that interview with you. So hats off to you, my friend.
Thank you very much. I would say a couple of things, Eamon. One is I was surprised by how little preparation he did. He does a lot of interviews, Eamon. The reason he's made a name for himself is by basically going on every TV show or podcast that will have him. No one knew who he was 6 months ago. He's done this kind of intense media exposure strategy, a la Trump in 2016. But we did a lot of preparation, my team and I. We had his tax returns. We had his tweets. We read his books. And, you know, he seems upset that we're quoting his words to him. And in answer to your second question about was he lying then or now, I suspect he's lying now. I suspect the real Vivek Ramaswamy was the one who was genuinely horrified, like we all were, with what happened on January the 6th. But of course, now he's running for vice president, probably. Now he's running. He probably needs Trump to stay. You know, Trump's been praising him, which Trump doesn't do to his rivals. The fact that Trump's praising Vivek tells you everything you need to know about what Vivek's strategy and end goal is.
And listen, to your point, I mean, it has worked for him a little bit because this is a guy who has, as we saw in the first debate, whether you like it or not, outshined some of the others. He certainly took a lot of incoming, which shows you that he is perhaps the front runner after Donald Trump for that vice presidential spot. And there's something that's interesting in the dynamic here because it has totally pushed the momentum away from people like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis's campaign is basically saying they'd be happy to finish second in Iowa. If this is a guy who a couple of years ago was seen as the heir apparent to the Republican Party. Now he's telling you he'd be happy.
Man, and I've been saying the whole time, man, when he first showed his face, I was like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. At least I was like, well, let's at least see who he is. Let's give him a chance to actually demonstrate what he can do. And he's what I thought.
To finish second in Iowa.
Yeah, there's some goalpost shifting and expectation managing. What's interesting is the DeSantis people, a lot of them, think Vivek is running just to be a Stop DeSantis candidate. And the people on the right who have shared the clips from my interview the most, guess what, Eamon?
Yeah.
It's the DeSantis campaign.
Really quickly, one last thing. I know we have to go because I got to do my show, but we could spend an hour talking about this. I love the part when Vivek goes, don't pay attention to the details, Mehdi. Mehdi, you're really focusing in on the details. If you really want to talk about it, and you're like, details actually matter, as they should.
He, Eamon, is a guy who's gotten away with being super confident and talking really fast. The problem is, so do I.
It was
right. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good sum up of Vivek's situation. It's like, you're used to at least getting away with thinking you're the smartest person in the room, thinking you're smarter than everybody, but no, you're really not. You're not smarter than everybody. And like he said, I think that's in one of the clips we're gonna watch in a minute. He brought the receipts to the point where he had his tax returns, and he's like, "No, that's not me." Okay, Vivek. Andrew Weissman says Giuliani is in a world of hurt and is about to be wiped out financially.
I would say, if I were guessing, I used to not think this, but Rudy Giuliani, I'm not sure he'd be a great cooperating witness, but he is in a
Danny, what's popping? What's going on? Appreciate you. Always a pleasure for being here.
just a world of hurt. He is about to be wiped out financially in
Fritza, Queen Fritza is in the building. Hello. And we got Chillin' 2D8.
the Ruby Freeman Shea Moss case. The decision by former Chief Judge Beryl Howell makes it plain that she believes he's sitting on some discovery that he desperately does not want to turn over. That is why he's in the position he's in, with a summary judgment against him and only damages to be decided. He is selling sort of his last known asset. And in Georgia, exactly. And in Georgia, he's facing not just sort of big picture crime, but also the civil case with Ruby Freeman and Shea Moss. He's facing the criminal side of that, which has such incredible jury appeal. Because it's not just democracy writ large that's been victimized, but two people who are just doing their job. So he, and he knows, I mean, he is somebody who is a former U.S. attorney like Chris Christie, and is a rational actor. So, it'll be interesting to see what he does, because there's just so much pressure on him on the criminal side and the civil side.
Hold on, I'm trying to see Ryan. I got an invite. I think I might be on the power panel this Friday. I just haven't responded yet. They're asking for it. Yes. So it looks like I will be on I'll be on the power panel on Friday. I just got to respond to the email. But other than that, I won't be on any shows this week on TYT. But the power panel, it's looking like that is going. All right. Rudy Giuliani, the man who basically permanently crippled the mob, at least to, from what it was. Former mayor of NYC. Oh, Fritz, it's all better late than never. You know what I mean? It's all good. But yeah, I mean, look at where Rudy Giuliani is now, and it's just like, all right, so many people who are just absolutely throwing away everything they've ever earned, everything they've ever done for the sake of Donald Trump. It's that's their problem, though. Okay, let's see. I'm just looking up here a little bit. Morning Joe warns Trump's risky bet. He's bigger than Fox News could absolutely come back and hurt him.
And really quickly, we got Chuck Rosenberg here. Want to go to Chuck and talk about a lot of things that are happening in the court cases. I do want to talk first, Jonathan Lemire, about.
Oh yes, tomorrow I'll be on with Ray. Wednesday we're doing Lock Talk, and then Thursday, yes, we're doing the nerd news on Thursday night. We will be back this week.
The fact that we're all talking about next year, 2024. And, a lot of hand wringing, as James Carville said, a lot of bedwetting on his plastic bed sheets. Okay. But you have a Republican Party that really is, it's just split. It's splintered, yes. 50% of Republicans support Donald Trump. Great. That's 50% that don't. And then you've got this war with Fox News. I mean, I talked to somebody this weekend, again, a supporter of Trump, and we were talking, and I said, you know, then they let me know. They watch Newsmax. That's where they get all their news. It's now news. But there's just these splinters and divisions. And we have a guy who wants to be the Republican nominee who's trashing Fox News every day. Again, Fox News, they'll get by. You know, other people will get by. But I'm just saying, when you have a Republican Party that is that splintered, Donald Trump dividing it right down the middle, it doesn't bode well for next year. I don't care what everybody says.
Yeah, Trump is making the bet that he's bigger than Fox, that he doesn't need Fox. And that's a risky bet to make. We know what power they have wielded for such a long time. And it's true, they were supportive eventually of Trump in 2016. They were all in on 2020. And they've kind of gone back and forth here. Like they certainly seem to be flirting with the candidacy of Ron DeSantis for a while, as that has stalled. Looking at their coverage, analysts say it's warmed up to Trump again for the most part, but that's not good enough for Trump. Trump wants simply almost.
Luke, I don't know why what you just said just made me think about the easiest bills to not pay. And I feel like the easiest bills to pay late, I guess maybe depending on where you at, is rent. Like, man, if you late with your other utilities, they will turn your shit off so damn fast. But with rent, especially if you normally pay your rent, like, you know what I'm saying, they'll send you a notice. If you hit them up and be like, look, bruh, my work schedule changed, I'll send you your money. I normally do. Like, I don't know what it is, man, but that should be going off. But like when it comes to like electricity and all of that shit and the Wi-Fi, man, if you don't pay that shit when they say pay it, they'll give you one warning, and then you'll wake up and your shit will just be off, bro. But man, rent. Look, if you ever need to pay for something else, I recommend you know, if you have to take the risk. I don't know. This isn't scientific, but from my personal experiences, motherfuckers will wait for rent money.
A Kim Jong-un-esque chorus of just nothing but support at all times. So therefore, if there's any even slightly dissenting voice, and he singles out in these posts a particular,
like, it's a 5-day grace period, but like still, like, bro, I pay my rent. I've been paying my rent here for X amount of years. You really, what you gonna do, bro? And they don't be doing nothing. They just be making, as long as you pay. Now, if you months late, if you just don't be paying, then yeah, but. And people will rather get their money late than not get their money at all. And if you somebody who normally pays up, motherfuckers will work with you.
Their piece in the Wall Street Journal, the occasional anchor in Fox News. If they're not just giving him lavish praise at all times, that's not good enough. And he goes scorched earth.
Oh, you said, okay, the Discover credit card. Okay, there you go. There you go.
Against them, and to your point, that's dangerous a little bit here, as he is.
We over here like meticulously planning on how to survive. You know what I'm saying? When you loan your money for the month, this is how we survive. You know,
far ahead in the primaries, and even a fractured Republican Party seems at this moment on track to renominate him. But as we go into
Aaron, well, thank you for popping in and saying hello.
Next year, he can't afford to lose any support. We know how close next year's election is going to be. We talk often about how President Biden can't afford to lose these small margins, whether because of voters of color or those who might be attracted to a more liberal third-party candidate. But that applies to Trump, too. Trump doesn't have a margin of error either. He would need every single vote he can. And if he's turning off some Republicans, if he doesn't get that full-throated endorsement of Fox News next time around, that could, to your point, Joe, absolutely come back and hurt him.
Well, we're going to have to keep on waiting and see. I mean, ultimately, like right now, we've gone over Biden's recent poll numbers coming out that really aren't looking good. But what they really show is, please, please, please give us a candidate other than Joe Biden. Please give us somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But what those polls don't say is, I'd rather have Donald Trump. So it's pretty much still in a tie. Like they're still pretty much tied, which is sad. Yeah, my landlord where I'm at, this is they ran by a management company. So you know what I'm saying? Like Them damn, yeah, you right though about that. But yeah, my shit right now is like a corporate management company, and they manage a whole lot of different buildings. Hassan, you right. I could be a extra as a Viking. I could be like one of their berserker warriors. You know what I'm saying? I could just be one of their little berserker warriors. Go in, take my shirt off, put an axe in my hand, put some war paint on me. You know what I'm saying? Get it popping. One of the things that Chris Christie mentioned, and it is true, but we'll have to see if it actually pans out. He mentioned that if, right now Donald Trump just looks like he's undisputed, like he looks like he just simply can't be beat. But if any cracks actually, appear in his armor, if he looks like he can lose, then perhaps his polling will change. But we'll have to see if that actually happens because his polling just gets stronger and stronger within the Republican Party. Oh my God, yo, 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 yo. You know what I've been doing this whole time? I've been playing this video and y'all ain't been watching it. I've been playing this video on my screen and because I just looked at LV and I'm like, what's she talking about? We haven't watched the video at all. But y'all looking at me, I'm just looking. My bad, that's my fault. It was the video I just had up. This is what I had up. It was I'm sorry about that. But here we go. Basically, it was an interview where they were showing a couple of Republicans. I mean, there was only two who said anything about how he about how he has too much baggage. But that's pretty much it. It really wasn't that substantial. Oh shit! But yeah, no, that's all it was. We don't even need to look at this other one again. Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. I was looking at that. I was like, hey, y'all must be sitting there looking at me like, oh, what the hell is going on? All right, here we go. We gonna move on to the next. This one, I'm not gonna do this one to y'all. I ain't gonna do it to y'all this time. Hmm. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so this is another clip with Mehdi. I don't think this. Yeah, this is a different one. He's just talking about Vivek when he was on with him.
Well, first off, I should point out, I didn't even invite him on the show. He suggested himself back in July. He tweeted at me saying, have me on your show to debate all this stuff, MSNBC. So we said, all right, after the debate, when it looked like he was actually a serious contender, we said, all right, come on then. So he actually invited himself on as part of his strategy of throwing himself into numerous interviews. It's how he's made a name for himself, because he was really a nobody 6 months ago, but he's done this intense media exposure campaign. And my goal was to try and hold him to account for some of the nonsense that he said in those interviews and for some of the lies he's told about his past. What he's done so well up until this point, including on the debate stage in Milwaukee, is to just basically talk over people, speak super fast and super confidently. Thing is, Yasmin, so do I. So I was ready for that. And we did our homework, my team and I, and we came to him with his quotes, with his book, with his tweets, with his tax returns. And I don't think he was quite ready for that, because he's had a bit of an easy ride so far.
That was a moment, Mehdi, when you went at him with his tax returns. If anybody has not seen that part of Mehdi's interview, you certainly should watch it online, because it is amazing to watch. When you were talking to him, I think two of the biggest things, it seems, that you were trying to hold in on was, first, his qualifications, and secondly, his trustworthiness. Was it there or was it not? And I think going into it, probably you understood it likely was not going to be there. All that being said, though, Mehdi, right, your audience isn't necessarily the type of people that are going to be voting for someone like Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah. So even by having him on your show, right, it's not like those folks are now going to say, well, Mehdi kind of called him out, right?
Well, interestingly, well, first of all, I always say there's a value to truth in and of itself. I really don't care if I'm saying truth in an empty room. Sometimes it doesn't matter about the audience. Yeah. You just have to reinforce the truth. But I would say one thing, Yasmin, the DeSantis people are sharing their hell out of this clip, because he's got rivals on the right who are actually very happy to see him held to account. I've seen a bunch of conservatives, people like Meghan McCain, who's no fan of mine, saying, why didn't conservative media ask Vivek Ramaswamy these questions over the past 6 months? Why did he get a pass on the right for so long? So actually, interestingly enough, given the dynamics of the GOP presidential race, where he's snapping at DeSantis' heels, they're actually appreciating the fact that someone's asked some of these questions.
Yeah, that's a really incredible point. And it's interesting because of the leak that came out of the DeSantis camp just a couple of weeks ago, saying we're going to focus more on, ahead of the debate, of course, we're going to be focusing more on Vivek on that debate stage than they would, obviously, the front runner, which is former President Donald Trump. What are you most, Mehdi, worried about looking ahead to this election, specifically the primary race and then ultimately the general?
The most worrying thing is something I've been saying for a long time. I'm sure you have too. The authoritarianism that comes out of the GOP, and Vivek Ramaswamy, despite being the son of immigrants, despite having a brown skin, is as authoritarian as the rest of them, if not more so. On Friday, he announced that he wants to deport U.S. citizen kids of undocumented immigrants. He doesn't accept the birthright citizenship.
All right. Pretty much the same is the one that we just saw on HuffPost. Hey, right, you said right, her dad, her dad, Darth Vader, she might as well just go ahead and jump in the race, right? Wasn't she planning on running before? Or did she? I don't know, something like that. I don't know. She definitely wouldn't do well, but that'd be funny to see. All right, now we got Kim Buck going after Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her crusade to impeach Joe Biden absurd. Let's see what he's talking about.
Connecting the president.
Republican on Republican violence.
So I am more focused on the issues that I think Americans care deeply about.
Well, perhaps Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who you have been pretty vocal in pushing back on, is getting your message, because yesterday she posted, quote, this, quote, our country deserves for Congress to vote for an impeachment inquiry for very important reasons, not a rush impeachment vote. That is a bit of a shift in the timeline, a little bit of a pumping of the brakes on it. What did you make of that?
Well, Marjorie filed impeachment, articles of impeachment on President Biden before he was sworn into office more than 2.5 years ago. So the idea that she is now the expert on impeachment, or that she is someone who should set the timing on impeachment, is absurd. The time for impeachment is the time when there's evidence linking President Biden, if there's evidence linking President Biden to a high crime or misdemeanor. That doesn't exist right now, and it isn't really something that we can say, well, in February we're going to do this. It's based on the facts. You go where the facts take you.
And there has been a search for that for some time, I think it's worth stating. But you also have been asked a number of times, but I wanted to ask you about Kevin McCarthy's speakership and whether he's at risk. You know, there's a couple of things on his plate right now.
On to the next. What we got? What we got? Let me see. What should we go to? Okay. So, why were people mad about what Gavin Newsom said about Dianne Feinstein? What did he even say? Like, hold on. We about to check this out. California Governor Gavin Newsom was blasted by Representative Barbara Lee on Sunday after his comments about Senator Dianne Feinstein and her replacement should she need to bow out early due to health concerns. In 2021, Newsom promised that he would nominate a black woman to Feinstein's position should it become open. On Sunday, Newsom told NBC's Chuck Todd on Meet the Press that he would only appoint a caretaker to the position if Feinstein was able to complete her full term. Lee, who is black, described the governor's latest interview as insulting, saying in a statement, quote, "I am troubled by the governor's remarks. The idea that a black woman should be appointed only as a caretaker to simply check a box is insulting to countless black women across the country who have carried the Democratic Party to victory election after election. There are currently no black women serving in the Senate. Since 1789, there have only been 2 black women senators who have served a total of 10 years. In response, a Newsom advisor told KTVU, quote, "It's a hypothetical on top of a hypothetical. There is no vacancy for any U.S. Senate seat, nor does the governor anticipate there will be one. Voters will have their say on who should replace Senator Feinstein when they go to the polls less than 6 months from now." Okay, yeah, I don't really care about this story, honestly. But I can see why he got a little backlash for saying that. But, at the end of the day, Dianne Feinstein is about on her way up out of here. So the people will have to show up to the polls. He's definitely going to end up running for president at some point. I don't think in this election, but likely 2028 at least. He'll likely end up running for president. And I think that he would do well within the Democratic Party for sure. But we're going to see a lot of new people in 2028. Absolutely, individuals who we don't even know yet or who we're not even thinking about yet. We got Christina in the building. Hello, hello. Yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes on that seat in California and see what's good. Okay, so Greg Gutfeld bombs with his own studio audience after taking a shot at ex-Fox colleague Chris Wallace. I mean, he's never. I've never seen him be funny to me. So for him to bomb in front of his audience, it must have been extremely unfunny. So let's see.
So after the White House threw out the global welcome mat, Democratic mayors are now shocked that millions actually showed up. It's like offering your broke friend to crash on the couch for a week. Then he actually shows up and stays. He raids your fridge, lays on the couch smoking weed, invites his friends over and trashes the house and expects you to pay for it all. I mean, I'm sure Hemmer's charming, but damn, there's a limit. He didn't even set up the meth lab like he promised. But if you advertise that you're willing to give away a valuable limited resource.
You said too many round things on your coffee table. I went through all of them and still no grinder.
A resource that doesn't really belong to you, then what the hell do you expect? Free room and board, free health care, free school for your kids? Wow, maybe we should all fly to Mexico City and walk back in. Huh? It would be worth the diarrhea all over my sombrero. I think that's racist on 2 fronts. Of course, none of you ever got that deal because no government ever could afford that. To raise that kind of cash, they'd need the stock-picking skills of a Pelosi. So now, as lefty mayors are stuck with the bill for this insanity, the only way to fix it is to lurch back to the right, meaning do what the Republicans were telling you all along, grow up. This isn't high school. I was a liberal back then because liberal ideas were amazing and beautiful as long as you never did them. For they aren't real unless they're attached to a working system. And there is no system, just a phony, altruistic scam. They're more pie in the sky than the drone delivery from Brian Stelter's bakery. Liberal goals without conservative systems are like building a new Nancy Pelosi without gallons of spackle. And liberal goals without conservative systems.
He's like not even kind of funny.
Systems mean there are freebies minus results, and that doesn't work. Mayor Adams sees this, we think. Look at bail reform, the free-range homeless. That reminds me, I promised Chris Wallace I'd let him borrow my tent. Cities are now replicas of the places these migrants are fleeing. Total chaos and disorder. What kind of lunatic would want to visit any of these towns?
The Why Is This Happening podcast.
This is so remarkably unfunny. I mean, like, oh God, I mean, like, it's so unfunny. Like, I barely could even tell when he was trying to make a joke or not. Like, that was just that was just terrible. Hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure because I think I have. Okay, we don't need to go over this one. We got a Mark Levine rant. And all right, we got quite a bit of we got a couple of other things from Vivek. We got Tim Smith in the building. Hello. Welcome to the party. Trump allies drop hints he might skip second GOP debate. He has shown everything that he stands for through action. Yes. Indeed. Okay, I don't think this is my bad. Here we go. The upcoming second GOP presidential primary debate is looming, and all eyes are on former President Donald Trump. His current position at the top of the polls is triggering speculation about his participation in the event. The Hill reports that Trump's allies suggest that he may not attend the debate, which is set for the September 27th at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in California. This has sparked conjecture about how Trump might counter the event, where his challengers, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence, are expected to be present. GOP party members predict that Trump might counter-program the event as he did for the first debate when he chose an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson over attending. Alex Conant, a Republican strategist who worked on Senator Marco Rubio's 2016 presidential campaign, also anticipates Trump to counter-program the event, potentially through a rally or another interview. In his last interview that he did, on Tucker Carlson, he's talking about how many views it got. Like, bro, those views aren't real. But yeah, he at this point, I think he'll probably skip all the debates. I think that's very likely. I mean, maybe he'll show up for one of them, but I don't know. All right, hold up. One sec. Hold on, they got Trump playing Phantom of the Opera in the back. Yeah, you been up since 1 o'clock? I hope you go to bed early today.
To the people in this very large stadium who are waiting for Trump to speak, it doesn't matter to them politically. What they want to hear is the fight, Anderson. I can just scan the room here and I can see multiple people wearing his mugshot as a source of pride. So what they want from him tonight,
I'm sorry, is that the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack playing?
It is indeed. We've heard Michelli, we've heard Sinead O'Connor. It's been a different sort of playlist this evening.
I'm sure
yes,
Sinead O'Connor would have been thrilled.
My man's got the Phantom of the Opera playing.
This very large stadium who are waiting for Trump to speak. It doesn't matter to them politically. What they want to hear is the fight, Anderson. I can just scan the room here and I can
They
see
got a screen
multiple
playing.
people wearing his mugshot. To the people in
Bro, what the fuck?
very large stadium who are waiting for Trump to speak. It doesn't matter to them politically. What they want to hear is the fight, Anderson. I can just scan the.
Did y'all hear that scream? Oh my God, bro, what is going on, man?
Room here, and I can see multiple people wearing his large stadium who are waiting for Trump to. So the people.
Bro, who does this man think he is?
In this very large stadium who are waiting for Trump to speak. It doesn't matter to them politically. politically. What they want to hear is the fight, Anderson. I could just scan the room here and I can see multiple people wearing his mugshot as a source.
And again, like Anderson's look, because how can you not look at that? It's like that song is so loud and it's taking up all the attention. Like, bro, what? Oh my God, this shit just gets weirder and weirder. Oh, hold up. Did y'all, what's this? Oh, loud boos rained down on Trump at Iowa football game. Hold up. Where is this? He goes off on the Wall Street Journal and Fox News for questions on his age and mentality. What did he say? Oh God. Page 2. Bro, this dude, like, God, this is like all he does. Like, literally. The Murphy Show, what's going on? How you doing? All right, here we go.
In a phony and probably rigged Wall Street Journal poll.
A phony and rigged poll because it's not favorable to you.
Coming out of nowhere to soften the menial incompetence blow that is so obvious with crooked Joe Biden. They ask about my age and mentality. Where did that come from? A few years ago, I was the only one to agree to a mental acuity test and aced it.
Oh, he aced it. He aced his test. That's a man. That's a boat. That's a building. Like that's what his mental acuity test was, and he aced it with flying colors.
Now that the globalists at Fox and the Wall Street Journal have failed to push their third-tier candidate to success, they do this. Well, I hereby challenge Rupert Murdoch and Sons Biden Wall Street Journal heads to acuity tests.
So he challenges everybody else. Oh, he's challenging everyone else to be able to identify that this is a cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a hand. Like, that's what the mental acuity test is. He's challenging everybody else to take it. Right? He took a dementia test. And this is page 2.
I will name the place and the test, and it will be a tough one.
He'll name the place and the test, and it's going to be difficult.
Nobody will come even close to me. We can also throw some physical activity into it. I just won the senior club championship at a big golf club, with many very good players. To do so, you need strength, accuracy, touch, and, above all, mental toughness. Ask Brett Baer, a very good golfer, the Wall Street Journal, and Fox are damaged goods after their failed to sanctimonious push and stupid $780 million settlement.
Morons! This dude. Oh my God. Oh, you trapped in the driveway. Right. Don't nobody let him play their events. This dude said, I just want a senior citizen competition. I'll choose the time and the place. And they really want this man to be back in office. But hey, you know, that's what it is. Now let's move on to this next one. Crowd booed at a stadium in Iowa. Loud boos rained down on Trump at Iowa college football game. Right. Right. Exactly. He won't debate nobody, but he'll challenge them to a dementia test, though. He'll do that. He got Vincent in the building. Okay, there we go. Oh, there's more. Shit, they liking him here. Is he going through this place here? They liking him here. Trump said. USA, USA. All right, I'm just looking over at the side at the other ones, but yeah, no, that was definitely a mixed reaction. There were a lot of people who loved him and a whole lot of people who don't. So, and it's Iowa, it's not like it's a raging blue state. We got enigmatic. Hello, hello, hello. Oh. Let's see. The internet says Vivek is done. Oh, Brewski Dragon, better late than never. Hello. Vivek is done, apparently. After Morning Joe host Joe Scarborough shares brutal interview. Hold on, is this? Oh, the clips aren't loading for whatever reason. Hold on, where is the one? Which one is this?
You say you are anti-identity politics, anti-affirmative action in a party that hates the Soros name, yet you accepted a Paul and Daisy Soros scholarship at law school that was specifically set up for the children of immigrants. It was an affirmative action scholarship, and your defense for that is that you didn't have the money to pay for law school, even though you'd already made over $1 million at the time and made another $2 million.
My defense of that is somebody gives you a merit scholarship at the age of 24, you take it. At the age of 24, somebody gives you a merit scholarship, you take it. I didn't say I didn't have the money. I said at a time when I had a lot less money than now, $50,000
you said exactly, I didn't have the money, Vivek. You keep forgetting your quote. You said, when I didn't have the money.
So, Mehdi, I've made this really easy for everybody. And I did this in the early weeks of the campaign.
Yeah.
I released 20 years of tax returns.
Yes, you did.
Something that no presidential candidate, let alone somebody who's successful in business, has done. I challenged Democrats and Republicans alike, including the Biden family, to do it.
And
you know what? I released it so that you could look at them, so we can have an honest conversation.
I appreciate that.
The funny thing I've learned,
I do appreciate that. It's something Trump should learn from you.
I think that transparency is important. So it's already open and everybody can see it.
Exactly. We have 2009.
But the fact of the matter is, you know what I would advise every 24-year-old should take $50,000.
And 2010, you made $750,000. You had the money to pay for law school. You didn't need a Soros affirmative action scholarship that you now criticize.
I mean, none of this is worthy, but if you think it is, let's get to the detail. That was actually the first big piece of money.
You say you're anti-affirmative action. You took a scholarship for immigrants.
I'm anti-affirmative action.
So why'd you take a scholarship for the children of immigrants?
Which falsehood would you like me to address? The financial one or the one about my views on affirmative action? Because I can go in whichever order you'd like.
On
the financial piece of it. Not at the time that I had applied for the scholarship that fall.
Yes, you did.
That December.
Yes, you did, Vivek. This is awkward for you because you did. I've got the tax returns in front of my face.
No, it's not awkward for you.
This is awkward for you because you did. I have the tax returns in my face.
Yes, on December 31st, when the application for the scholarship was that October. Mehdi, you're wasting your time on childish details in October of that.
Who cares about the details? Screw the details.
Year when I applied for that scholarship.
Childish details.
And it was, well, guess what? The bonuses that a hedge fund pays, and it's a shame that, again, you don't have to be an expert on this, but if you're going to spout out, you better know something about it. People pay at a hedge fund the bonuses at the end of a year. And on December 31st, that's when I was paid. I applied for the scholarship that September, and I did not grow up in a wealthy family.
Vivek, you made more money the previous year.
I made $200,000 pre-tax or whatever it was.
No, you didn't.
And you know what?
No, you didn't. You're now telling flat. In 2009,
you have my tax returns in front of you. I don't remember what I made in 2009.
In 2009, you made $650,000. In 2010, you made less, $450,000. So the argument that you only made the money pre the scholarship, Oh, so now we're bringing tax into it. We've been using gross numbers.
Absolutely.
Vivek, you're wrong on this. Go back and check your tax returns.
$50,000 obviously makes a big difference.
And then you accepted a Soros scholarship for $50,000 when you didn't need it.
Well, you know what the fact is, Mehdi, is $50,000 did make a big difference to me back then. And anybody who has a few $100,000 in the bank is going to take $50,000 without strings attached. Take this.
How many people have a few $100,000 in the bank? And he just said anyone who has that much money is going to take 50,000 more.
Scholarship. But my question for you is, why on earth are you, as an intelligent person interested in politics, obsessing over a 24-year-old's $50,000 scholarship?
I'm interested in truth,
beneath you. We have a country to...
What the hell was he doing at 24 years old to where he was making that much money?
That you wear. I'm interested in truth.
And Mehdi, that's why I released 20 years. Mehdi, that is why I released 20 years of tax records. Tell your friends in the Biden administration to do the same thing.
What the fuck? This dude didn't have money his whole life. How the hell? I mean, I don't know exactly, but like, god damn, bro. Like, why are you even running for president? Like, bro, you this dude got a scholarship, but he was making all that damn money. And then hold on. And then we got, hold on, we're not gonna watch all of this, but this dude sat down because look, this on the Daily Caller. Ramaswamy declares life begins at conception after previously pointing to 6-week mark. Like, bro, like it doesn't matter what site it is. It doesn't matter the outlet. Like more and more, you just can't get over the fact that this dude is full of it.
Vivek Ramaswamy is a businessman, author, anti-woke activist, and now
An anti-woke activist
of association. You say you can't fire somebody.
Yes, Indian quagmire, exactly.
For not only their race, their sex, their sexual orientation, but also their religion, also their national origin. Increasingly, there's a movement in this country that says that sex is not a hardwired characteristic at birth or sexual orientation, that these are fluid characteristics, even choices that people make. Well, against that backdrop, if we're going to accept those interventions in the market, where are our libertarian friends on speaking out about that? And I think that's part of the reason I don't call myself a libertarian anymore, is that you can't pretend like the status quo is a neutral white space of a starting point and then say, oh, we want to live in a free society. You have to open your eyes to the governmental infringements back at the end, south of our own border, that is directly responsible for that fentanyl crisis. People will say, is it just demand driven in the US? Well, it's no coincidence that that demand was actually served, and we only got the crisis that we did when the supply side drove the problem. When Chinese manufacturers, including starting from places in Wuhan, believe it or not.
And Shanko Jeans, if that's true, please go handle that, man. That's horrible. I don't even that's incredibly tragic, man. I hate to hear that. Please go handle that and be with family or whoever you need to be with, man. That fucking sucks. I hate to hear that.
I'm making this up. Send not only supply, but now there are Chinese chemists south of our own border working for and with the cartels.
Shut up, Vivek. We've had enough of you for today. Like, what does that even mean? I'm an anti-woke activist. Like, bro, what? Yeah, my what? God, like, how did that even? Man. Damn, and they won't let you down. Jesus, man. I hate to hear that, man. I'm sorry.
To any candidate or any political party. This is the official position and has been of the United States Department of Justice for decades. So the special counsel purposely brings 2 criminal charges right in the heart of a Republican primary in a presidential election, working for the opposition party, the president being Biden, of course, for maximum political impact. But it's worse. Judge Chutkan goes even further. She sets March 4th, the date, specifically intended to cripple Donald Trump's campaign by setting the beginning of the trial for the day before Super Tuesday, the most important primary day for Republicans on the calendar. Not only that, Judge Chutkan jumped the line. The first federal case brought was the case that's in Florida. Judge Cannon's in charge of that case. Weeks before Judge Chutkan set the trial date for March 4th, Judge Cannon already set the trial date for the first federal case in May. So when she issued an order setting March 4th as the initial trial date for the second Smith case, Chutkan created great difficulties, not only for the Trump legal team violating their Sixth Amendment rights, because there's no reason to have this trial on March 4th. There's no reason to have this trial this year. She intentionally undermined Judge Cannon's May order for her trial and all the issues related to that in the document case. She jumps in front. Chutkan is so extremely political and radical. She wanted to make sure she could get her case January 6th before a Democrat D.C. jury as fast as possible, help the Department of Justice, the prosecutors, get a conviction, so Trump is branded for the rest of the election as a convicted felon. He may have incredibly strong arguments on appeal, like her violation of the Sixth Amendment, like her violations, in my view, of the judicial code by interfering with an election, purposely so, like her treatment of the defendants and so forth. But it won't be heard in time on appeal to have any impact on the election. So she knows she can do virtually anything at the trial level, virtually anything. She wants Donald Trump branded as a convicted felon. So reprobates and opportunists like Chris Christie can run around rather than condemning the Stalinist type situation that's going on, say Donald Trump can't run for president. He's too busy defending himself in the court, which is exactly why past attorneys general said, you're not supposed to do this. I hope this all makes sense to you. The bottom line is this. Judge Tanya Chutkan is absolutely not fit to be the judge in this case. She's already demonstrated that. She's created a very diabolical situation by jumping the line on the first case. We also know when she set that date on March 4th, she had already talked to the judge in the case of Manhattan. She already had made up her mind that she was going to pick March 4th. And she's not a fool. Doesn't mean she's a good judge, but she's not a fool. She knew exactly what she was doing. Denied Trump and his lawyers the Sixth Amendment due process rights, denied Trump effective representation to counsel. He wants to appeal it, he'll appeal it later. Set a date that interferes with the trial date in Florida. Obviously, I doubt she called Judge Cannon in Florida like she called the Democrat judge in New York. So she jumps the line because she wants to get her case going first. Why? She wants to interfere with the primaries as much as she possibly can. That's the date. And on top of that, she wants Trump convicted of something, so he's treated as a convicted felon by fellow Republicans and Democrats in the course of the election. That's Judge Chutkan. Now, Judge Chutkan, you need to step down. And somebody who has the authority, like the chief judge or the DC bar, if she doesn't step down on her own, then you need to tell her to step aside. This is worse than the appearance of a conflict. This is a conflict, a grotesque conflict. I'll be right back.
Okay, Mark. And now we have some crazy guy losing his mind in a Walmart somewhere, dumping milk all over himself or something along those lines. And then he fell. Bro, people be doing anything that, like, stuff like this isn't even like stuff like this is like old. Like, y'all remember Bunk Gang? Y'all remember when Bunk Gang used to run all up in places and just like do stuff like that? That type of stuff isn't even novel anymore. Like, people been doing that. But everybody, thank you so much for joining me on today's stream. We had such a wonderful time as we typically do. Tomorrow, unless there's a change of plan, I will be on with Rayvana at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Wednesday night, me and my boy Kamal, we're going to be on. And Thursday evening, me and my guy Kyle, we will be doing another episode of Nerd News. We're definitely going to be talking about Ashoka. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff on Thursday. Still got to do some show prep. The membership program has been accepted, and I will have it live. I will have it live very, very soon, sometime in the next week or two. This month, there's just a few other things I need to do just so it can be fully up and ready to go, but we got that thing coming. We got it ready to go. And other than that, man, let's go ahead and just keep on doing our best, man. Let's have a good week this week. If you got something to hit, go ahead and hit it with me. It's Monday, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot more work to do today, as I'm sure all of you do as well. So let's go ahead and get this week started off good. I appreciate y'all for joining me today. Ooh. All right. Love you too, Fritza. And I love each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the constant encouragement. Y'all have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow.